EnforceAuth is a centralized policy and decision control plane that governs how systems make authorization decisions. It sits between the applications and their data, including LLMs, evaluating every action in real time using policy as code while providing visibility, auditability, and consistency across the distributed environments. What we're going to take a look at here is our dashboards, but don't forget, we're running a whole control plane that's actually taking on the loads behind the scene in a very efficient, scalable design. Starting off in our dashboard, we can go in and see the key metrics of how our system is running. We can see a number of different decision statistics, policy decision logging, and so on. One of the foundations of EnforceAuth is that we can actually go in and design our policy management around how organizations are created. So we can take a look at the graph view here, and we can see that it's set up like a real company where you have organizations and organizations within organizations, or perhaps departments. Then you may have another layer below that, such as different application groups in a department. These can all be organized and then have the systems fall within that, and then share them across the enterprise, where we may have an enterprise-wide set of policies. We can go in right from here and drill into the data and look at things like the retail API. Here we see a few statistics on it. We can go into the full details and see how it was set up through this dashboard. Here you see the relationship, the configuration. It's also important to realize that we are designing this to be a more open policy engine as well. While we are OPA first, we do plan on adding Cedar and Zanzibar architectures in the near future. Further down here, we can see all the different things that we're going to manage for our environment and putting it all in one place. Another important distinction that we've done intentionally with EnforceAuth is using CI/CD to do our workflows. Instead of recreating and reinventing the wheel inside of EnforceAuth, we're using what standard enterprises use today for their development environments. So we're latching right on to those existing workflows that are in there, allowing you to use the same tools that you're used to inside of your enterprise today. Once we go in and take a look at our policies, we can see a lot more details on them. We can initially see some statistics that are gathering and see how our system is actually performing. See the top 10 triggered policies, which ones are being used the most, and drill into other details from here. We can also go in and actually edit and look at those policies right in the environment as well. So we can create one in the upper right corner here, or I can go drill into any of these policies and take a look at the policy right here in my UI. So as this opens, I see the decision policy and how it was actually built. I can also go in here and do a visual design of this, so I don't have to go in and use the full coding, which is a JSON-like language in the case of Rego files for OPA. I can go in and design this more visually and easy, and it will turn it into the Rego files that are the policies, and then you can edit them further from there. You can also use our AI assistant, if it's turned on for your environment, to go in and tell it what policy you want to create and talk to the agent to go in and create it as well. In fact, we could also go in and ask the AI assistant things like, how are decisions flowing right now? This will go and take a real snapshot in real time of what's happening in our system and return this to us. So in the older world of looking at dashboards constantly, that was great, but now we can go in and just ask it the details we're looking for, and it will return the results to tell us a little bit about what's happening right now. So great news, the decisions are flowing very well right now, and here's what I'm seeing. Next up, let's go take a look at our flow builder on here, and we can actually go and see inside of the UI the flow of the decisions. So we could go in and see how they're flowing through the environment and see how everything is going on in there. Once we put this into production, we'd go through the deployment process, send it up, and go through the gates again through the CI/CD process, however you have it set up to do it, and deploy it right from our environment through EnforceAuth. The decisions then that are happening in real time can be tracked right inside of our dashboards, where we can see all the various decisions, see the outcome of it, and even drill into some details that are right here in the dashboard, like the input, the results, and then, of course, any labels that can identify this particular running of the application or policy decision. I hope this was a good intro to the initial stages of what we've put together for EnforceAuth. We're going to be adding a lot new things like analytics and compliance tracking, all within these dashboards, and we are excited to show you these as we develop them.